So I am currently on my way to pick up a good friend of mine named Mary Dalton. And Mary Dalton, before I met her, went through a year-long battle with a kind of bone cancer called Ewing sarcoma. And we've never really talked about it much, so today I am just going to pretty much drive her around, and we are going to talk about her experiences with cancer and how she's dealing with it now that she's in remission. Alright, so can you just sort of take me through, like, what happened?
I had started getting pain about 2 years before I got diagnosed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and what happened was, like, I got a fever, and then I started getting pain in my left side and, like, my ribs. And I had to go to the emergency room, and then I ended up going for an x-ray, but nothing showed up. And then I went to the emergency room, like, 2 more times throughout those 2 years, and then I went to it again, and I got an x-ray, and then it showed that there were 6 tumors in my chest.
Wow, 6?
Yeah, there were 2 really big ones, and then there were 4 smaller ones.
Yikes.
I think it was about, like, 30 minutes after I got the x-ray. We were at home, and I was watching Grey's Anatomy, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and then we got a call saying that we had to go to the hospital right away. And I remember that I was trying to find my phone to pack it up to bring to the hospital, but I couldn't find it, and we almost had to leave my phone at home. And I was like, no, I gotta tweet about this. But the whole time I was kind of just really confused. I didn't know what was happening, but I was in the hospital for a week because I had to get a biopsy to figure out, like, what type of cancer it was and everything.
Wow.
The shock for me kind of lasted a long time, but
yeah,
the moment...
So, like, it just, like, it didn't sink in at first?
No, not at all. I actually was really happy for a while, and I was just, like, so optimistic, and I was, like... Because I didn't realize what was happening at the time. Like, you have to understand, like, I didn't understand what was happening. I didn't know how bad chemotherapy was. Like, I didn't know anything that was about to come, so I was kind of, honestly, I was, like... I mean, at least I don't have to go to school. Like, that was my mentality of it. So, yeah, it just was not good.
When did that change? Like, when did it hit you?
It happened after it was my first chemotherapy. One of my chemotherapies, and it was a 5-day, and it was at the very beginning, either my first or second. And it was like the 3rd or 4th day, and I was just so sick, and I was, like, throwing up and going to the bathroom and, like, throwing up so much. And I kind of just remember, like, walking out of the bathroom, and then I was holding the IV pole, and, like, I turned around and I just looked at myself, and, like, my hair was falling out, and I looked disgusting, and, like, I was in, like, a hospital gown, and I just kind of looked at myself and started crying because I realized I'm so sick. And then I remember just sitting on the bed and looking at my mom and crying and being like, I'm just really sick. Like, over and over, I just said, I'm just really sick, because I realized, like, I was... Like, this is real. I was actually, this is, like, deadly illness that I had.
Yeah.
So that was the moment when I realized.
Wow.
Well, some good things that happened were that one great thing was the nurses, and they became my, like, best friends and everything, because they were so sweet and kind to me. And I had one nurse who, because I was in the hospital for my 15th birthday, and she made, like, snow angels, and, like, we looked up how to make, like, paper snowflakes, and we decorated my hospital room with them, and they brought me, like, a cake and everything, and they sang to me. There was one nurse who, she would always do her other patients, and then she'd get another nurse to cover for her, and then she'd come into my room and just talk to me for hours. So that was really cool, and we just talked till 2 a.m. every night.
Aww. So there were positive moments.
Oh, yeah.
In all of this.
There were a lot of positive... I mean, I met so many people, and I've gotten a lot of really great opportunities because of it, so...
So not to, like, be a downer, what were, like, some of the more negative or, like, worse moments?
I think just the loneliness and, like, because your friends kind of... It sounds terrible, but your friends, you can't expect them to wait around for you forever, and I was sick for a year, so they kind of just moved on, and, like, you come back after a year, and they look different, and they have different friends, and then you meet new people, so it's okay, but...
How tough was it to transition from, like, being in a hospital all the time and, like, being sick all the time to now, having to go back to, like, a normal life?
It was the hardest thing I've ever done. It was terrible.
Do you think that was...
It was even... Parts of it were even worse than actually having cancer.
Wow. Okay.
Like, it was so bad, but I got through it.
Like, what made it so hard?
I think it was just, like, kind of realizing, like, I'm being thrown back into the world now, and I kind of have to figure out, like, what am I going to do, and how am I going to fit in at school. And I just remember the first day of school, I was so nervous, and everybody looked at me. Everybody, I could hear, like, that's Mary. And it was just the weirdest thing ever. I felt like I was, like, being observed by all these, like, a wild Mary in the wild coming to school for the first time in a year. I guess that there's, like, a lot of things in your life that kind of make you realize that everything happens for a reason. And during a lot of times in my treatment, I kind of felt like there was no God, and like there was no higher force, and there was nothing like that was going to help me. And like, but now that I'm done with it, I kind of realize that everything does happen for a reason. And I kind of think that this might have happened for a reason, even though it was so terrible. But I have so many great opportunities now, and so many great friends, and like, I'm just in a really good place right now, and I'm in an even better place than I was before I got cancer. So in that regard, I feel like everything happens for a reason, and I think this happened for a reason.
Coincidentally, we're at Wegmans right now.
Your signature 3-point parking. Oh, actually, is it going to be 2 points? What?